you know how powerful a strong testimonial is. So how do you make sure that you get awesome testimonials for your business and that you actually get them before people are on their merry way? We're going to talk about that right here in this video. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma Givens. I'm a brand messaging strategist, content writer, and copywriting coach for entrepreneurs like you. So if you're interested in those topics, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you never miss a video. All right, so how do you get awesome testimonials? Well, it's actually way easier than you think. It's mostly having this plan. Like just knowing how you're gonna do it and staying on top of it is honestly the key. The awesome words will come themselves. So here's the most important thing. Actually keep track of your customer's journey. So if you're a service-based business owner, here's how it works. When they have their first sales call with you, you're going to naturally, if you are doing sales calls right, you're going to ask them, what are they dealing with right now? Why did they book the call? So essentially, what are their pain points? What have they been struggling with? So you have this snapshot of the before. You may even get further in depth on this if your onboarding process includes a questionnaire, or you're more of a coach, so you actually have more of a conversation and you track how they are developing across the time that you're working together. Then you're going to pay attention to milestones in their experience with you, and you'll have a concrete offboarding process. So at the end of their experience, before a month or two has passed, ask them for their initial feedback, right? So what have they already experienced changes in? So you can ask them this in the form of a questionnaire. You can also take some notes in your last coaching session together, because it's important to reinforce that for them too. It's actually a fantastic idea to ask them about the changes they've seen in themselves, or even remind them of, you started here and now you said you were here. Look at that amazing gap that we've just bridged. You're where you wanted to be. That's actually awesome for them, right? It just reinforces they made a great investment, that they have improved. That feels so good for people. And it ensures that you have a journey that they completely see and agree with. You can track and then you can share. Actually, you can also, in a couple months' time, you may follow up to see how things have stuck, especially if you're doing, for me, I do content marketing services. I generally work long-term with partners, but if I were to do a one-off project, I would check in a couple months later to see how what we did that month had an impact a few months down the line, right? So if you're in an industry like that, it's another good reason to check in and see how did that impact some more tangible things usually of what you see down the line. So like revenue, how it may have increased, lead generation, that kind of thing. Okay, so now for the nitty-gritty of how you actually get the testimonial, the piece of writing itself. It's super simple. So I would send them an email so you can track it, and you'll expressly want to ask for their permission and their sign-off. It's not necessarily mandatory, especially if it's already in your contract as well, but I think it's a good best practice, and it just shows this level of respect and trust. I've had some people who couldn't have cared less either way. And I've also had a client before who, because of her own past legal issues, was just very sensitive to any way that she's represented. And she really, really appreciated and said that to me. That's how I know that I asked her as basically a courtesy, because it was kind of included in the scope of our contract. So to make this extra super simple for you, I'm going to give you some exact words that you can use. So grab a pen or pencil, or open up your notes app on your phone. I'm going to give you this short, sweet little email that you can send to ask for a testimonial. Hi, name. I put together some of your feedback from the survey, from our last conversation, from that questionnaire you filled out last week, etc. about, insert name of experience here, and crafted this testimonial. So you're going to actually, in a second, I'm going to talk to you about, you're going to add a little testimonial below. So you can also remind them here, and crafted this testimonial with the last sentence added. So it could be something that they didn't touch on that that they experienced. So you want to basically pass that by them as, are you okay with me adding this into your words, basically? So that can be really, really helpful, especially if someone, may not have been great at articulating their feedback. This is an opportunity for you to prompt them to see if they agree with that. Are you comfortable with this? Any change requests? And then I usually put a happy face emoji. Now you insert the testimonial you've drafted. So I would usually italicize them as well. Italicize them. So that is really distinct. It's clear that that's the testimonial. I would also put at the bottom, dash their name and title, or their name and business, so that way they can sign off on that too, to make sure you have that all absolutely correct. I think that's really, really important. So how do you write a testimonial? So basically, if you wanted to keep it super, super simple, you can honestly make it 3 sentences. Before, this is how we worked together and like what that looked like, and the results after. Super simple. That's why you've been asking them questions about, where were you before we started working with each other? What brought you to me in the first place? What brought you on the sales call? Right? What made you book? Descriptor of the experience they had with you. Results. And if you wanted to, I would maybe make the results section the longest, right? A sentence to 2 sentences, maybe 3 sentences, where they've told you like, now I feel way more connected to my body again, and I'm eating intuitively, for example, for the first time that I can remember in all of my life. It's also even changed the way that my daughter is approaching food, and she's had this experience. Like, it goes beyond a lot of the time, even that initial personal experience. So if you have those like beyond things to share, I would 100% do it. Okay, so that also brings up something good. If it's that deep, and particularly if you're not helping other people in the industry of business, right? So let's say you don't help other business owners like me, and you would basically have the person's name and maybe like the fact that they're a nurse, or you can also remove that. You could put the person's first name. That's totally, totally fine. I would still ask them permission. And I've really never in my experience seen anyone be questioned for the testimonials on their website. Like, they know that it's actually a real person. It's just they probably didn't want their last name seen. So particularly if it's more personal, or if the service you offer, it won't really affect the people out there, who they are. You might want to put just their first name, maybe their city if that's relevant. That could be kind of cool too. Okay, so now that you've put in your draft testimonial, the way that they've expressed themselves in really succinct words that you have crafted, say, thank you, your name. That's it. That's the whole email to get permission for testimonial. So why do we do it that way? Why do you not just ask them for a testimonial? You can sometimes. So for example, if you're asking me for a testimonial, I'm a writer, so I kind of like to put it in writing in my own words. But for most people, it's kind of time consuming. They don't understand the structure. It would take like at least the length of this YouTube video to explain how they write an effective testimonial, right? So take that burden off of them, and it way increases the chance that you'll get them to say, yep, put that up on your website. So write it for them, because it really reflects what you know that future clients need to pay attention to and need to be validated on. And it makes sure that it gets done. It happens. It's the most effective thing I've seen, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna give you an alternative testimonial structure. So we did basically before, during, after, and that's fantastic. And then there's another option too, especially if the intro that you use, like let's say you're on a sales page, for example, and you can actually intro the testimonial a little bit, or it's really obvious that that's the journey, like it's the thing that you're selling on this page. This is a really nice alternative testimonial to get approved. So that is, the first part's the same. The before is the same. So you're revisiting where they were before you started working together, what their pain points were. The second part is the results. So you kind of skip the during part, right? So you can always put in a quick reference to the thing. Like, after a VIP day with Emma, I immediately felt like this and this. So that's the thing. It's usually like the way that they immediately benefited in terms of tangible pieces, maybe emotionally, whatever that is. So that's part 2. 3 is the new piece. So this is ripple effects. So not only the like immediate results, but how this is either going to ripple effect into their future, or if you did check in with them a few months down the line and they've seen even better results, they can say, I can say with certainty now that 3 months have gone by, that the work Emma and I did together back in January has led to more clients than I've ever had before at a higher price point, for example, right? So another thing that you can say if you're not 3 months out is, now I'm on track to, so what is the thing that they can see is likely to happen? You'll find that people will describe this a lot of the time in their answers to your questions when you're talking about results. But this is where it goes, right? So if they're talking about, I feel prepared, now I feel prepared to talk about what I do in my business and exactly how I help people. If that like is total contrast to where they were before, that's a powerful testimonial. That's a very, very powerful story. So even if they haven't gotten there yet, if they have told you that they feel on track, prepared, halfway there, like they only need another month, if they've said any of those things like, this is in my future and I can directly tie it to the work that we did together, that's amazing. That's what your potential customers also want to hear, right? That really validates the investment they're about to make with you. And that makes you feel awesome too. It really validates the work you're doing. Okay, so obviously these are for service-based businesses. Honestly, I would say it's a bit simpler for product business owners, and that is to basically make sure that there is an email that goes out after they buy something, right? So say, hey, I hope that you absolutely loved, and you can personalize it if you're a small enough business. I hope you absolutely loved the pair of earrings that you bought recently. They were some of the favorites of our collection last fall. So I'm so glad that you were able to get your hands on them this year. We'd love to reshare if you want to show a picture of you wearing them on Instagram, or just invite them to review on your website. If you have more of a relationship with them, like if they've already been tagging you on Instagram because they love your products, then go out of your way to send them a DM. I'm just giving Instagram because it's the most common in the world I'm in, but send them a DM and say, hey, we love the photo that you posted a couple of weeks ago, and we actually really wanted to highlight this piece of jewelry that you love. Would you be comfortable, or what are some other ways we could say that? I would probably say it like that. Basically ask for permission, right? Like, would you be comfortable with us actually putting that on our website? And we will absolutely, put your Instagram handle there too. So highlight how it benefits them, right? Or you could also say, would you be able to write us a quick 4-sentence review of why you love the pair of earrings? We'd love to give you a 5% or 10% discount on your next item. Something like that. So yes, you can send out the generic, like, please review email. A lot of people don't even do that, and this includes big companies. And you'll still get some reviews, but it can be very, very challenging for product-based business owners to get reviews in the beginning. So those are some really effective ways to do it. And the key is that since they take a little bit of time and attention, early on, that's your job, right? Your job is to bring in new business and to get old customers to repeat. So that is a good use of your time. You don't have to do that forever. You're going to be too busy at some point, and it's going to start to become self-sustaining. But in the meantime, you've got to start to get reviews on your website. You've got to start to build momentum on social media. They're critical. So it's worth that time to make sure you're getting awesome reviews or testimonials. All right, so whether you're an online service-based business owner or product-based business owner, I hope that you found today's episode on how to get awesome testimonials to be really, really helpful. If you haven't already, be sure to sign up for the waitlist for Copy Wisdom, the brand messaging workshop series. This is happening in September 2021, the next round. So the link is in the description below. This is where you're going to create all your foundational brand stories, including how you take these testimonials and you turn them into ideal client success stories. This is going to be so powerful for pitching, for telling awesome stories via email to your newsletter list, etc. And that's just one tiny component of the whole experience. So make sure that you've signed up for Copy Wisdom. I can't wait to see you there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will actually see you on a Thursday in 2 weeks' time, which is a bit unusual. Usually there's new episodes coming out every week. But because it's July, it's a 5-week month, the heat of summer, we're actually going to take a week off. So I will see you again the first week of August on the Thursday. I can't wait to see you. I hope you have a good couple of weeks yourself, and we will chat soon. In the meantime, feel free to follow me at Emma Givens Writer on Instagram, and you'll see any of those kinds of updates there. So I can't wait to see you soon. Bye.